So much of what Convoy of Hope represents is a movement of kindness. This is more than just an organization. This is more than just a brand.
You're good right there.
Let's go. Grateful for today. We're grateful for the opportunity to have served you, God. We pray that
this is about people's lives. This is about what have we all been asked to do. When we live on this earth, we all have purpose. We all have a responsibility to one another. And it's really through those small acts of kindness that we can bring about change.
My honor today to have Erin-Rae Donaldson Peace and Kevin Rose join me for the program. From an organization that works in 21 different countries, serving millions of people worldwide in a variety of ways, but always when they need it most. Convoy of Hope, today on the Edge of Adventure podcast. This is where adventure meets purpose, where we get to know those who live life beyond status quo. My name is Adam Asher, and this is the Edge of Adventure podcast. Great to have everybody with us today, right here on another edition of the Edge of Adventure podcast. My name is Adam Asher, and again, it's always a privilege and a pleasure to be here with you guys and to get to share with people far and wide about these wonderful organizations doing amazing things, serving other people, living lives of adventure and purpose. And that is why today I wanted in particular to feature Convoy of Hope. So from that wonderful organization that does great things all around the world, let's welcome Kevin Rose and also Erin-Rae Donaldson Peace, both of whom are joining me today for the program. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Kevin, I'm going to ask you the first question. I always like to start with very, very tough questions, right? What's the mission of this organization?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question, and obviously fundamental to why I work at Convoy. Convoy of Hope is all about serving people that are hurting and suffering, whether that is people living through disasters or people that are living in poverty around the world. And our mission is to bring hope and help to people all around the world. If you look at our website, our mission statement is Convoy of Hope is a faith-based organization with a driving passion to feed the world. And that really comes down to a lot of different things, but we really boil it down simply to we just want to offer help and hope to people that are in difficult and hurting situations.
Kevin Rose, one of my guests today here on the Edge of Adventure. Let's go now to Erin-Rae and have her explain where you guys work. If you were to narrow it down to particular regions, where do you guys work?
Yeah, thank you, Adam. That's a great question. We're actually both here in the United States, but we're also in 21 different countries doing ongoing programming activity. So that can look like numerous different regions, particularly Latin America, Africa, Europe, Australia, Eurasia regions. So the opportunities have been vast, and it hasn't always been that case. We've actually been able to expand and grow with time, and we're so grateful for that continued opportunity. The need is great, and it's going to continue to be great. So we're just anxious to continue to be on mission and do this for as long as we're able to.
Kevin, how long has this organization been doing this? You guys started approximately when? And take us back as to maybe what started it. Why did this organization get started doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. The Convoy's been around, I believe, since 1996. And I'll actually ask Erin-Rae to help me with this question as well, if you don't care, because Erin-Rae's family was a part of the founding of Convoy of Hope. And so I know the story is personal to her. But, it really started back in 1996 in California. And Erin-Rae, can I kick it over to you to tell a little bit of the founding story as a member of the family?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Kevin mentioned, it's been a joy and a privilege to be a part of this family. My dad is Hal Donaldson. He's currently the president and CEO of Convoy of Hope. When my dad was 12, his dad actually got hit head on by a drunk driver. And it killed him immediately. My grandmother was left severely injured. And so, unfortunately, Hal's family didn't have insurance, and the person that hit them as well did not have insurance. So this family went from thriving to having very little and going into a state of poverty. And so it was really through the help of that community in which they lived and that really surrounded them, and a family that took in those kids. Hal was one of 4 children. And so they took in those children for those few months that my grandmother was in the hospital. And it was really through that time where they were just really protected from becoming bitter as a result of the compassion and the love of those that surrounded them. So it was really birthed in Hal from a very young age, this desire to meet the needs of people that were living in poverty. However, through his career pursuing journalism, he went to India and he had a conversation with Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa asked him, "What are you doing to help the poor and the suffering?" And he didn't know how to respond. He said, I'm not doing anything. And she says, "Hal, everyone can do something." And that struck a chord with Hal, and I don't think he was ever the same. And that really birthed this desire to just go back to his roots and that humble beginning and meet the needs of the very type of people, the very situation that he himself came out of. So it started with back of a pickup truck, handing out groceries and just encouraging people to go to the local church and just to receive community that they needed desperately, and Convoy just being a partner in that process. Mm-hmm. So that was really the start, and it's grown into a fleet of semi-trucks crisscrossing the United States and now global.
This is The Edge of Adventure. My name is Adam Asher, and that's the voice of Erin-Rae Donaldson Peace. And also with us today, Kevin Rose, as we feature and focus on a wonderful organization called Convoy of Hope. Integrated Program Strategy. Mm-hmm. That's a term I've noticed that you guys use, but Kevin, I'm going to kick it to you so you can help me understand that better.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Adam. We love talking about that. It's a newer term to some people. Really what it means is, so Convoy has, on the global program side of things, we have 3 strategic initiatives: children's feeding initiatives, women's empowerment, and agriculture. And when we talk about integrated programming, it's all about those initiatives working together. And here it is simplistically. When we go into a community and feed kids, we work a lot through schools. But if we do not go beyond that opportunity that feeding kids in schools create, we're really missing the opportunity to go deeper in a community. And that's where our women's empowerment and our agriculture work comes in. I just look at it as like different rungs on the ladder. When we work in a school, you're addressing the nutritional health of a child. You're promoting good education by kids coming to school more frequently, having the nutritional health they need to learn. But then we want to work with what's going on at home. And that's where women's empowerment comes in. And that's everything from family health empowerment, on everything from maternal health education to, we do full scale economic empowerment, where we're helping women and moms start small businesses that can supplement the income of the family. And then jumping over to agriculture, it's all about increasing capacity for people to feed themselves. And so to us, those strategies are so important. They're integrated. We don't want to be feeding kids in one community and then working in ag in another community and working with women in another community. You really miss the full value and potential of those programs building off of each other. So it's kind of a lofty term, but really it's really a simplistic model of working together.
Kevin Rose from the global program team of Convoy of Hope, and of course, Erin-Rae Donaldson Peace, also with us today. Erin-Rae, let me ask you this question. If you were to think about the things that Convoy of Hope have been involved in recent times, recent memory, what are some of the moments in time that stick out in your memory?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all of us can relate on the COVID-19 crisis and the pandemic that really hit us globally. And so over this past year, we've really had to pivot. We've been able to adjust. We have incredible over 100 staff and partners that we work with around the world. And it's really through that team dynamic that we've been able to meet the needs of our program participants as well as their families and the extended communities in which we work through this difficult time. So I really just want to emphasize just the power of just that collaborative effort over this past year. We've been able to distribute over 200 million meals, both domestically and around the world. And that really stands out to me significantly in terms of our efforts over this past year. But if I could have like 3 hours with you, the list would go on.
I'm sure it would. Erin-Rae, thank you for that. And those of you who have the privilege of watching the video version of the podcast, now is the segment of the program where I start to show some pictures and give you, you know how they say pictures are worth 1,000 words. You get to sort of see the heart reflected in what they do. Mm-hmm. And if you are listening to the audio version of the podcast, that's wonderful. Hey, that's like I always tell people, I'm a radio guy, so I think I'm partial to the audio version. But if you get the opportunity, just pop over to theedgeofadventure.com and you will see the post associated with this podcast, and you can watch it there on the site. Kevin, let's talk now about the local networks and the groups that you guys, anybody that's working around the world in an organization of this size, when you begin to help people around the world, you have to have partners and people on the ground in these locations that you trust. Is that the case?
Oh, absolutely. The given is scalability. I mean, if you don't have people to, reach out and work, you're not going to have a very far reach. So there's that piece of it. But the other thing I always like to point out is, the local context for communities is so crucial. Whether it is working in a community in California or working in a community in East Africa, that partnership is crucial to not only be able to have an impact and reach out to a lot of people, but do it in a way that's effective. Whether that is, us responding to disasters or us starting ongoing program that we've talked about, those local relationships are key. And Convoy's been blessed with lots of different partnerships and relationships. We strive really hard to be good partners and work really in tandem with whoever are the key players in those areas. We do a lot with local churches all around the world. The church has a very valuable role to play in serving their community. Both we believe that the person is a holistic person. And so there's that element, but they're also just an important fabric of the community. So networks and relationships and partnerships are crucial. Volunteers are crucial for the work that we do. I even look, I've been around Convoy 13 years, and just even on the disaster side, what we've been able to do with our networks of getting trained volunteers that are a part of our disaster response, it's crucial. And it's not just, it gives us scale and capacity to respond to multiple major disasters at one time. And so networks and relationships are the lifeblood of what we do on the scalable side, but also they're just incredibly important for us to be relevant and be educated anywhere that we go and respond.
Erin-Rae, next question I'm going to direct to you. This is picking up on a theme that I've noticed through the presence that Convoy of Hope has online, including your website. So I'm going to ask you this question, okay? Loaded question. Does kindness matter?
That's a great question, Adam, and I'm glad you asked it because so much of what Convoy of Hope represents is a movement of kindness. We talk about movement kind of in the context of this is more than just an organization. This is more than just a brand. This is about people's lives. This is about what have we all been asked to do. When we live on this earth, we all have purpose. We all have a responsibility to one another. And it's really through those small acts of kindness that we can bring about change. And it really is about the choices, the daily choices that no matter where we're at in this world, we have influence, we have impact. And so at Convoy of Hope, it's a joy to get to partner with others and show them that they can come alongside, that they can make a difference, no matter their backgrounds, no matter the resources they have or lack of, that we're all in this together and we all are what create this global community, and we have a responsibility to take care of it.
Kevin, what would you say makes Convoy of Hope unique? If we were to drill down to the heart of Convoy of Hope and say, you know what, this is really what makes us unique, what would you say?
Yeah, I would add on, first of all, to what Erin-Rae was just talking about. Our desire is to be more than an organization and is to be a movement. The only way for you to engage is donating to Convoy or serving or giving your time or being an employee of Convoy. We hope that our work not only helps people, but inspires people that everybody can do something in their community. So that's one of the first things is kind of our ethos, is that we do hope that it goes beyond just being an organization, and that we're an encouragement for everybody, no matter where you're at, and no matter if you're associated with Convoy, everybody can do something to serve someone else. So that's the first one. The second thing that makes us unique is we're really blessed in the area of logistics, and we can move and leverage donations and be very good stewards to, we have relationships and networks with providers of products to corporations that work with us. So we are a very scalable organization. We have a very strong network and capability and capacity to have a far-reaching impact. And that's another one. And then I think the last one I'll mention will be how we work everywhere is we work with the local church in mind, the local community in mind. And, I love it whenever you look at, whether it be a community event that Convoy is serving in the United States or one of our programs internationally. I was just in El Salvador last week, and, I went and visited one of our projects, and you're seeing dozens of people around at this particular spot and very few Convoy people. And we want it that way because it's really about the community. And so we really, in everything we do, it's about coming alongside the community. What can we do at that time to, whether it's coming in response to a disaster or whether it's partnering to address the nutrition of the kids in their community, we do it in a way that we're coming alongside those closest to the need, those on the ground. And so we really do it in partnership. And I feel like that's a uniqueness to our organization.
This is The Edge of Adventure. My name is Adam Asher, and thanks to you, this podcast and its reach continues to grow, with listeners now joining in from Germany, Chile, Slovakia, Barbados, and beyond. This is our community. We are just a group of people from around the world, people who seek adventure and purpose, people who aim to live our lives for something bigger than ourselves. Help us spread the word, though. You can do so by sharing out the podcast, perhaps on social media. You could email it to a friend or text it to somebody, and you can always have them start with theedgeofadventure.com. But hey, look, send a pigeon if you have to. Just help us get the word out about these great organizations doing great work all around the world. Like the one we're featuring today, Convoy of Hope. I am thankful for these guys, and I'm thankful for you as together we go beyond status quo, out here on the edge of adventure. This is The Edge of Adventure, and we're talking today with Kevin Rose and also Erin-Rae Donaldson Peace. Both of my guests work with Convoy of Hope, in particular in the global program. They're on the global program team, and obviously you can tell they have a lot of experience with this organization. They've been with the organization a long time, and in the case of Erin-Rae, it's a part of her family. And now I'm going to move to meddling, all right? Erin-Rae, let me ask you this question. Both of you have mentioned church, faith-based, these types of terms. The thing about this program, On the Edge of Adventure, I want the person, the organization, to explain why they do what they do. Mm-hmm. And the motivation, there's a lot of times there's similarity between the different organizations, and then sometimes the motivation is different, right? But I want to know what's at the root of why these people choose to do what they do. So explain to me the connection that the church has, or the faith-based element of Convoy of Hope.
Yes, that's a great question, Adam, and feel free to meddle. It's okay. And I'll have Kevin kind of share as well a little bit some of the gaps that I might have. But really, our understanding as a faith-based organization is just the model that Jesus represented and how he treated people, how he loved people, how he brought hope to people, and that compassion ministry is a mindset. It's a lifestyle, and something that Convoy of Hope truly believes in, that we can be that example. And compassion ministry is more than just handouts. It's about long-term. It's about sustainable hope. So we really have a holistic approach to our programming, a holistic approach to anything that we do. When we interact with people, we want to ensure that every aspect of their life is being addressed. Kevin, any other thoughts?
No, I think that's great, Erin-Rae. I think at the end of the day, a person is a whole person. It's not just their body, it's their spirit as well. And I think at the end of the day, I mean, you nailed it. I mean, Jesus cared about people where they were at. And so we love the opportunity to just love on people and show kindness. And, we can't always end the cycle of poverty in every situation that we work in, but a lot of times we can disrupt it, and disrupt it with reminding people that there's always hope. And so I love that about the organization. And I know that's a big part of who we are and why we do what we do, is to share hope and bring hope.
I need to know why the word hope was chosen. Convoy of Hope. It could have been anything. Lots of great words that would apply to this type of compassion that you guys show as an organization and individually. So here's the jump ball question. Anybody can jump in and wants this one. But why was hope the word that was chosen?
Erin-Rae, I'll defer to you.
Fill in, Kevin, as well. I think my initial response to that question would be, hope is the foundation of so many things. Mm-hmm. You feel stuck. You feel paralyzed when there's no hope. And so when we talk about Convoy of Hope, delivering hope, that is the starting point to so much more. It's a launching pad. What about you, Kevin? Thoughts?
I would just mess it up if I added anything, Erin-Rae. That's beautiful. I mean, it's never underestimate the power of hope, I think. And that's who we are. And even just a simple gesture of showing kindness can help somebody realize that tomorrow can be better than today.
Kevin, what's next for Convoy of Hope? We're coming out of a very challenging time in the world's history. I mean, none of us had ever lived through anything like this, and very challenging. It wrecked a lot of things. It challenged hope. You guys are talking about how important hope is.
Yep.
Hope was one of the things that during this time, hope itself came under attack. And I think we all felt it. But what's next for you guys? And I'm sure much of what you do hasn't changed. And you think to yourself, nope, we just got to get back to doing what we're about. Either way, whether it's new things or getting back to the heart and the soul, what's coming up for you guys?
Yeah, maybe I'll add a quick comment just on the last year. I mean, whenever you're in the line of work that we are, when a global pandemic hits, you're not immune to it. And so we found not only incredible opportunity, as you mentioned. I mean, when hope is lost, that's when we want to step in and remind people that there is hope and there is always hope. And so we're excited about what we were able to. There was lots of challenges, obviously, in 2020 and from the global pandemic, but we were excited what we were able to accomplish. I think one thing I'll mention is when you run a global feeding program in schools, and schools shut down around the world, it causes you to innovate. But I think at the end of the day, we saw that the communities that we work with rise up to do whatever it needed to continue to deliver help. And to us, that just solidified that what we're doing is important and it's valued by the communities that we serve. I think as we look forward, we're always wrestling with the tension of quality and quantity. There are lots of people out there that are hurting and suffering, and we want to bring programs and services that are tangible and are meaningful. And we want to reach a lot of people, but we don't ever want to reach people at the sacrifice of quality. So as we look to the future, we've got a vision by 2030 to be feeding 1 million kids every school day around the world. Right now, we're at about 387,000 kids around the world in 21 countries. So we're on a march towards that, as well as continuing to grow and develop those complementary programs that I mentioned in women's empowerment and agriculture. So we're expanding. We're continuing to grow. Like I said, when you're in the business that we are of serving hurting people, unfortunately, there's a lot of hurting people around the world. So we got a lot of work left to do.
There is. There are a lot of hurting people, and there's a lot of pain in the world, and that pain, in some form or fashion, it tends to touch us all at some point in our lives. And Going back to the story of the Donaldson family, so Erin-Rae, I'm going to direct this question to you. What's your advice to the person who has experienced pain, perhaps great pain, and they're at that point in their life where they have to decide how they're going to handle it? It could destroy them, or do they have another option, Erin-Rae?
Yes, I'll actually use some of my dad's own words. The family that took them in for those few short months of my grandmother in the hospital, the father of that home actually told Hal at the age of 12 how your past doesn't have to dictate your future. And I would just say that no matter how much pain someone has experienced, that does not mean that that is the end. There's always a turn in the corner. And I think that Hal and his family realized that they had a choice to make. They had a choice to make this a part of their story, make this a part of what would propel them, not paralyze them, into a greater mission, into a greater act of compassion, to meet the needs of the very people that experience some of the same pains. And so we can connect with our pain. And I think that's something that sometimes we avoid, but it's really through that pain and that common ground that we can actually really bring a lot of hope and help to other people.
Erin-Rae Donaldson Peace, one of my guests today here on The Edge of Adventure. Kevin Rose is also with us. And as we get toward the end of the conversation, I mean, there's so much to delve in here, but you guys are a lot of fun to talk to. And this is an important topic. Hope, my goodness, all the stuff that we've been through as a people, and how important hope is and how wonderful it is at Convoy of Hope that you guys recognize that. Kevin, getting back to a practical question, what are some of the ways the people that are connecting with you guys perhaps for the first time, what are some ways that they can show their support for you and what you're doing?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Obviously, we're a nonprofit, and so we want people to partner with us. And we've got lots of different ways for people to partner with us, whether give their time, give their resources, and we want them to bring their friends. There's everything from volunteer opportunities. People can go to our website, convoyofhope.org. And we have different options, whether you live, we are based in Springfield, Missouri, but we have different options, nationally, as well as engaging in disaster response. We'd love for people to consider partnering with us financially. We pride ourselves and take it very seriously that people do make sacrifice and partner with us financially. And we're honored by that. And I think at the end of the day, like we talked about earlier, our goal is to be more than an organization you donate to. And we hope that we can be a part of people's individual strategy of showing kindness through their resources and to join with us. And pray. We appreciate, whenever we talked about it earlier, that when you're in the business that we are, we're never short on opportunities. And for those of faith that would join us in praying for wisdom for us, we are overwhelmed with opportunities, and that we would go the right direction and prioritize and serve where we're needed the most. So that's what I'd say.
Kevin, how would you challenge those of us? What do we need to hear?
Let's all be good neighbors. That's a personal challenge for myself. I think that I can easily sit back and take a back seat. And, I work for Convoy of Hope. I'm an employee. I'm a full-time do-gooder, but that doesn't excuse me from recognizing the needs that are around me in my neighborhood and my community and my family. And so I think taking the words of that Mother Teresa spoke to Hal, everyone can do something. And so let's all be committed to, whether it's showing a smile to somebody or waving or taking time to recognize somebody, let's just all be good neighbors and whatever that situation looks like in our own life.
Erin-Rae, what was it like being a Donaldson? This is your life. This is your life. Tell me about that. How is that tough? Is that great?
Adam, we talk a lot about as a family about how we're just so grateful that, we really have been very much from the approach of just humbled, and we were raised to understand that this was something that was always a team effort. It took an act of obedience. It did take that. And I'm so grateful to my dad for stewarding that well, making the tough choices to go this route and to listen to what his heart was speaking. And I do believe that, being a member of this family, is something that I'll always see as a privilege, but it's also something to steward. And it's also given me a passion myself that's gone from a family-oriented passion to something that's been very independent and something that I myself have been very called to do. And so I'm so grateful for the model and the example of my parents for what it means to live a life serving others. And they've done that so well and so humbly. And I feel like I'm a result of that.
Everyone can do something. I think that's the big takeaway from today. So I want to thank both of you for joining me for the show. Of course, this is The Edge of Adventure. My guests today have been Erin-Rae, Donaldson Peace, also Kevin Rose. Both are with Convoy of Hope. We've learned a little bit about all the many things that they do. I encourage you to go to convoyofhope.org, convoyofhope.org to find out more. And I encourage you, or look them up on social media as well, Convoy of Hope, very easy to find. In great content. I mean, it's meaningful content because what they do is meaningful. So follow them, send them a little message, and say, hey, I saw you on that show with the guy with the beard and the hat and whatever that show's called. And just tell them that you appreciate what they do and that you see them. Again, Kevin Rose, Erin-Rae, Donaldson Peace, both from Convoy of Hope, joining us today for The Edge of Adventure. Both of you are very special people, and may the Lord bless you. And you guys just don't grow weary in taking this hope to the people you minister to. Thank you both.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you,
Thanks
Adam.
for having us.
My name is Adam Asher, and you've been listening to the Edge of Adventure podcast. To learn more, log on to theedgeofadventure.com. And while you're there, check out the video series where we go off the grid to discover some of the great things people are doing all around the globe to make the world a better place. I call it my search for adventure and purpose. You'll find us on social media too. Just look for the hashtag #TheEdgeOfAdventure. Thanks for joining us. Always great to have you with us as together we aim to live life for something bigger than ourselves. This is The Edge of Adventure, where we go beyond status quo.